So this is probably going to be a really short video. I wanted to talk a little bit about this past episode of 90 Day Fiance, even though, quite honestly, there's not a whole lot to say. Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Debbie. I am the She in Reality TV, and I guess I want to talk about 90 Day Fiance, but honestly, guys, this is going to be a really short video because there's nothing to talk about. Like, all the boring people got married. What's her face? Aria Muhammad, Aria and Bilal. Boring. These two have been boring me since the start of the season, and I don't even know how they got back on the show this season. Right? They don't have enough going on to warrant putting them back on the show, but hey, that check, or I guess those checks, because now Binyam can work in the US, so they're both getting paid in the US, right? I boring. Even Muhammad, boring. Binyam and Ari, boring. Who else was in it? Jabari and Miona, boring. So Jabri's mom, Jabri's parents have decided that they're not going to Jabri's wedding, right? Jabari and Miona's wedding. They left his parents' house because they kicked them out, and they're gone to get married. I guess they went to California or whatever, and Grandma went along because she's actually performing the ceremony. So he keeps talking to his mom on FaceTime, and she keeps reiterating that they're not coming, and how sorry they are that they can't come, and how much it's hurting her that they can't be there, and blah, 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 blah. And I would bet you my last dollar that they show up at his wedding. Like, Grandma will call them and say, hey, why can't you come? Please come, whatever. But his mom and dad will show up at his wedding. So I don't know what's going on with all of this. Oh, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. I really would love to be there. But it's like, you all are sitting at home right now. I haven't seen his parents go anywhere or come home from work or refer to work or anything like that, although they must work. But they're like, oh, such short notice. We're both so busy. I don't see how they're so busy. I really don't. So yeah, Jabari is all thankful because, his grandmother's there and she's performing the ceremony, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's all that happens with them. It's really nothing big. Let's move on to Shaida and Bilal. So, Shaida, we saw the wedding dress that Shaida wanted. I like the really sleek one, the white one that she wore. If I can find the picture, I'll put it up here somewhere, but I probably can't find it. Love that dress, but she picked something similar, but not as smooth, something that was covered in lace, right? So it wouldn't be so, I don't know, it's not revealing, but it's revealing at the same time because it was so smooth and so tight, right? Anyway, Bilal's sister is supposed to be making her dress, like the one that she wanted in the store, but with lace on top. So she apparently made the dress, but as is common in Bilal's family, she showed her the dress. It turned out to be this hideous, ugly, very matronly wedding dress. That was the dress that she described, but in a gigantic size, right? It looked like that was the only difference between the dress that she showed her first and the second dress that she actually went and got, right? So, like I said, as is common in Bilal's family, it was a prank. You guys, these pranks are getting old. So she goes into her room. She's like, oh, you know what? I'll be right back. She goes into another room, and of course, we know she's going to get the actual dress. So she goes into another room, she gets the actual dress, and Shaida loves it. End of story. There ain't anything else to say about those two in this episode. Nothing. Let's talk about Patrick and Thais. So, again, Patrick calls Thais's dad, right? Now, I don't know about you guys, but if my daughter was marrying someone that I didn't like and he wanted me to like him, and so he thought that in order to get me to like him, he had to call me a dozen times to try and convince me of what a good guy he is, it would turn me off more. It would make me dislike him more rather than to like him. It wouldn't convince me that he's right for my daughter. It would make me feel like, you know what? If you marry him, I will never speak to you again because this guy is annoying as hell. He does not back off. And if she decides that she's not going to marry him, then fine. She decides that she's not going to marry him. But I'm not understanding why. She says that her dad's opinion is so important to her and blah, 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 blah. And you know what? 100%, I get where her dad is coming from. I totally get it. When she calls her dad, or when Patrick calls her dad. Daddy looks like he is not looking for any drama today. He does not want to talk to Patrick. He does not like him. He has an impression of how American men are to Brazilian women, and she's his daughter. I can't say I blame him. I would be pissed too, especially since she lied to leave the country. She said she was just going for a 2-week visit, and she gets to the US and decides to tell her dad after God knows how long that she's actually engaged to Patrick or going to marry Patrick while she's there. Of course, dad would be mad. What parent wouldn't be mad? What parent wouldn't be pissed? I would be raging. I would be pissed. Who wouldn't? So, yeah, her dad is not having it. And I don't know. I have no idea. Then they're talking about, what if we have kids and blah, 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 blah. And did any of you guys hear when Patrick's mom says,
My grandchild is not living in Brazil?
Bitch, please. If the mother decides she's going to live in Brazil, that's where the grandchild will live. That whole, oh, you can't have babies and take them to Brazil. You can't, because Patrick's not going to live in Brazil. Oh, well. Patrick's not going to live in Brazil. She's not asking Patrick to move to Brazil. They're saying if she gets pregnant, and I've heard in the wind that she is. But I don't know. I feel like, on the one hand, I feel like she won't marry him, and on the other hand, I feel like she doesn't say, you know what, I'm grown, and dad will have to get over it. I feel like she might be thinking that once she has a baby, daddy will get over it, right? Because a baby kind of solidifies, or in some people's minds, a baby kind of solidifies the relationship, right? And so dad will think, well, you know what? She's married to him. They have a baby. Maybe I was wrong, right? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's all I've got for this episode. If you haven't watched it yet, honest to God, it's kind of boring. It is boring. Truthfully speaking, I skipped over a lot of it. Like, what's her nose's wedding, Eve's wedding, bypass. Miona and blah blah blah. I skipped past a lot of that. Aria and Binyam's wedding, skipped past the entire thing. Well, I watched the first little bit when they were waiting for Ari to show up. I watched that like maybe 10 seconds of that. I was like, okay, I can't watch this anymore. These two make me crazy. Skip past that whole thing. I just skip past. It was so boring. It was so boring. The parts that I actually tried to watch, I regretted trying to watch them. The season is just, ugh. The whole thing is, ugh. It is. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I've been watching the UK version of this show, honest to God. If you have Discovery Plus, watch the show. If you don't have Discovery Plus, don't sweat it. I mean, there's a ton of stuff to watch on Discovery Plus, besides the 90 Day Fiance world. But, yeah, if you don't have it, whatever. I mean, it's $4.99 or $6.99 a month. $4.99 with ads and $6.99 without. Of course, I got the $6.99 because I don't have patience for ads. But yeah, the UK version I feel is there's no, right now, because they're on their first season, there's no, with the people that are not living in the UK, there doesn't feel like there's this this need to find someone, oh, I'm just going to find someone so that I can move out of the country that I'm in and move to the UK. It doesn't feel like that. I mean, it might be coming, but at this moment, I don't get that from any of these people who are supposedly looking for love. Anyways, that's all I've got for this edition of 90 Day Fiance. Again, and as usual, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time.